Kelly, I wanted to ask you, the Barancik Foundation has been heavily involved in education and children's issues. What caused this concentration on going earlier than that to the first 1,000 Days project?
Good morning, Barbara. Chuck and Margie gave our community such a gift when they established the Charles and Margery Barancik Foundation. One of their passions among many are children and families, and we believe the earlier the investment, the greater the return. And you can't start any earlier than as a baby is being conceived in the mother's womb. They feel that you can have the greatest influence on a life if you can capture that mother, that family, that baby as soon as they're born, and all the things that you can help them, whether or not it's literacy, the mental health, the stability of the family, whatever that family needs to thrive, we want to make sure that they have access to those resources as soon as possible. When you look at the research, the first 1,000 days of life is when all of the magic happens in our brain. 80% of a child's brain is developed by the age of 2, and that is set in stone and guides them for their whole rest of their life. So if we can have an influence on those foundational development years, we can make the greatest impact on that individual's well-being, the health, and their long-term success as an individual in our society. We also know there's no manual when you go home with an infant. Anyone will say that. When you layer on the challenges of poverty, it's even harder to raise a child and make sure that they have all the resources they need for both the parent and for the infant. And we want to make sure that our community wraps around those in greatest need and gives them the best chance possible to thrive with all of the resources that our community offers. First 1,000 Days Sarasota County is a collaboration of all of the organizations who work in the prenatal, family development, and early childhood development space. Our community is so rich with high quality programs and services. What we found was missing in the system were those really strong connections between the agencies, where maybe I'm serving the family and you're serving the family, but we weren't communicating well to understand how are our services aligned to best support their needs. We also found that there needed to be a stronger connection with the hospital. That's where they all come. Last year we had 3,651 babies born at our hospital. And what First 1,000 Days Sarasota County does is make that Velcro connection so we can identify those families sooner, catch them at their time of need, and safely deliver them to the community resources there to help them. When we began studying the issue, there were 2 data points that really stopped us in our tracks and said, whoa, even though we have these great quality programs and services, we weren't catching everyone. The first data point is that half of the babies born at our hospital are born into families living in poverty. The second data point that really stunned us is that last year 215 women delivered babies who had received no or limited prenatal care. For us as a community of nonprofits and philanthropists interested in helping them, those numbers were unacceptable. What we will do in First 1,000 Days Sarasota County is to help close that gap by reaching closer to them when they're pregnant, helping to identify them sooner. And we are launching that to the community next week in the hopes that anyone who's passionate about mothers, babies, and the well-being of families in our community will join First 1,000 Days Sarasota County and support the work that's being done. This is a problem that can be solved. You know, this isn't, while the families face many obstacles, as a whole, our resources in this community are so abundant that by just bringing everyone together closer and inviting people to invest in the work that's being done, we can really get access to these families and help mitigate so many of their challenges. And that's what First 1,000 Days is about. There's a really targeted time period that we're looking to serve the mother, the family, and the baby. And there's assessments, there's healthcare screenings, there's all kinds of diagnostics to show us what they need. It's just getting them to those services. So that's where the patient navigators that we'll be putting at Sarasota Memorial Hospital will be of great service. And that compassion, that extra level of service, and looking to build the trust with those families that says, I'm really here to help you, and I know you want this for your child. Every parent wants the best for their child. So there's an inherent motivator, and we're just looking to leverage that motivator and get them where they need to be.